Frank and oops, sorry, and Megan Palmer here with us today, so it's going to be an exciting one. If we There'll be more people joining, so when it's time for asking questions, if you could use the raise hand icon, then we'll make sure that we see people raising their hand in the order that they're popping them up. If you don't know how to do that, you go to the thing that says reactions that should be at the bottom of your screen. And when you click on that, the very bottom part says raise hand. It's the thing that would be like the space bar. So it's not the clap hands or the thumbs up. It's the raise hand one. So we'll use that just to make sure that we're able to see everybody. So without further ado, I just did a demo of raising my hand, which I will now lower. If everyone would please mute themselves, I'm going to turn this over to Cordy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, and it is so lovely to see you all. Before we start the presentation, I'd just like to take a moment to center us all together. So if you just take a couple of deep breaths, make sure you're comfortable, and imagining us in a circle. Beginning to feel the harmony of one another. Feeling the harmony, and then taking yourself to that place where we are in unity. And from this place, let us ask for the muse of creation and wisdom to infuse us today as we identify and share our precious stories of therapeutic touch. Taking a breath and finding that center place within, that heart space, that place of stillness and peace. That place of presence. Maybe just sending some roots down to help support you energetically in the sharing we will be doing today. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're really happy to see everybody. And one of the things I'm going to do is just a little clarification of what it is we're talking about, because I think we've confused some people. We actually have two projects going on here. We have the video project, and that started from the TT Dialogue group almost 2 years ago now. That group decided that it would be a wonderful thing for us to share our stories coming to Therapeutic Touch through doing personal videos. And then we have the eBook project, which is something that was Peggy's idea. And that is something that is specific for the 50th, or not the 50th Congress, but the celebration of our 50th year of Therapeutic Touch at the Congress. And so there's actually two things going on, which is maybe why you had a little confusion. Both of these projects hold our stories for those to come after. And both of these projects celebrate the 50 years of Therapeutic Touch. Some of us wish that our mentors and teachers who have passed had the opportunity to share more in their stories so that we could hear them forever and ever. So that's the invitation that we have, right? That's the invitation that we have to share these stories in these two different ways. And first, Peggy Frank is going to be sharing with you a little bit about the ebook project and how to do that. And then Megan will be sharing with you how to do the videos. And we will give you a lot of support, opportunities to ask questions. So I'd like to turn it over now to Peggy Frank. And
who will unmute herself.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Cordy. And thanks for the clarification, because there's more than two things going on. With a big birthday party, there's all kinds of apples in the air, and it's kind of a fun thing that we're getting excited, and we're all figuring out things that we can do that would help us feel like we're really honoring and celebrating something that's very special in our lives. I was really surprised when I saw who signed up to do this, because I thought it might be people who were having trouble digging and figuring out what their stories were. But when I saw the names of the people who were coming on, I went, wait a moment, you guys have 1,000 stories from Therapeutic Touch. Maybe your problem is narrowing it down to which story you're going to tell. And I understand that's a bit of a challenge. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the little thing that came to you. See if I can screen share about the, let's see, once I pull it up, can I screen share it? Just so we're all talking about the same thing. I just want to, it's hard to do two things at the same time. Screen share the template for the ebook and make sure that you all have that. So I think this is it here. Nope, it doesn't look like there's anything there. Is there nothing on your screen either?
No,
Okay, let's just forget that then and carry on. So I'm going to stop the share. It's very simple, the format for the ebook. It's just asking you to pick one story that can be anything really about TT. What it says here is the big question is, what has TT or therapeutic touch meant to your life or my life, if you take it personally? And just limiting that to 350 words is the challenge. It's not what story to tell or how to tell a story. If you need prompts for telling a story, there's ways of thinking of it. Like, my story is that I came to TT through being a healing partner, in my case. Or your story will be different than that, but each story has a beginning. So you might want to share how your story came into being. Or you could be at a place in your journey. I'm at a place where, and certain things are happening. I'm noticing more. I'm beginning to connect with people who know that I do therapeutic touch. And I'm finding that more people are asking for TT. And I've had this incredible experience. That can be your story. Or it could be something like telling the story of one day, and it all began when, and you'll fill in the blank from there. So if you need help with prompts, we're going to break out, we're going to do that later. Oh no, we're going to do TT treatments later. We're going to have time for questions, and you can just ask me if you need a prompt. But I know stories from each of you that are on this call, and you all have therapeutic touch stories. They can be stories about receiving a treatment. They can be stories about giving a treatment. They can be stories about how you heard about therapeutic touch. They can be stories about the founders. They can be any stories at all, because of what Cordy just said. There's lots of people who aren't here to tell their stories anymore. And we don't want to miss that opportunity with you. And I think writing a story for me is easier than going on YouTube and telling my story in front of a screen. So that's why I think the ebook is the easiest thing that you can do. So, and then we have this wonderful example, which I'm going to try and bring up, but I'm not having the greatest success. So I'm not sure that I can do it, but I'm going to try and screen share again. Let me. I'm not doing something right. Okay. I have it open on my desktop and I'm trying to screen share, but I don't see it
You
there.
did. You
It
did.
did?
It's up there, isn't it?
Oh,
I can see it.
okay.
There it is.
Hello, my name is Mary Grace Amendola. Is that what you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so great. So this person who probably wasn't sure she had a story to tell scooped up the courage to tell her story. And she not only wrote her story out like this, but instead of doing an audio recording, she went ahead and made a video, a YouTube video of her story. So if you read through her story, it's a story that any of us could almost tell. How she came to Therapeutic Touch initially and then forgot about it for a while, how she returned to Therapeutic Touch when her sister was ill, how she used Therapeutic Touch, and how grateful she is to have Therapeutic Touch back in her life. And then there's an honoring of Dee and Dora. So really, you can just lay out what you want to include in your story in 5 words, like, I want to do this, 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 and this. And then your challenge will be cutting it back to 350 words. So, does anyone have any questions?
Stop the share right now, Peggy, so that we can see the question if people have
Okay.
questions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I would have a question if I were you, is how do I do an audio recording? Because that's an option as well, is to do an audio recording of your story. And I just found out I have a phone that is smarter than I am, and it has an audio recording function on it. It's called a smartphone. And when I couldn't find it, I asked a friend and they showed me where the audio recording was. And I had an interview that I wanted to do with an old doctor. And so in order to do that interview, I borrowed someone else's phone, phoned the doctor on that phone, and put the 2 phones together so that I could audio record an interview. But you don't need to do that. You can just audio record your own voice telling your story after you write it on your phone if it's a smartphone. If you haven't got a smartphone, you can download something onto your computer. But that's not that hard to do. And then if you don't like it, you can do it again. You can keep doing it until you get that perfect voice where you don't trip over your words. There aren't too many well, then, and you can just go back into, or you can just leave it with the ahs, because perhaps that's part of the way that you speak. And it just is fine. Whatever it is, we just want to have your voices. I think all of you can think of a voice that you would like to be able to hear again. It might be a grandparent's voice. It might be a parent's voice. It might be a child's voice. But there's voices that we are missing from our world. And if we can audio record our stories, those voices won't be missing from our Therapeutic Touch world. So you're all going to do it, right? Let's have a raise of hands. Yeah.
I'm working on mine right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, just a couple.
I'm halfway through.
Great.
So are there
I'll
specific?
do my best.
Yay. That's all we ask.
Sue has a question.
Actually, I have just something I want to throw out there, that this ebook is going to be available on the TTIA website from the beginning of the Congress forever. So anybody 50 years from now who wants to hear our voices and hear our stories to add to their understanding of the history of TT will be able to see them, hear them, and view them. So make sure you get them in so that we can get them all up on the website.
Deb? Yeah, and yeah. You're unmuting yourself.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
can't find that bar you're talking about.
Mm.
Is there a way to put images into the template?
You can, yeah, on the written one, you can upload an image, just like you
Okay.
would if you were doing a a Word doc or something like that, you can put a picture there, and that would be wonderful, because it would be nice to have a picture of something, either you or something that's meaningful to you. But think about the future and think about what people might like to connect with your story.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Cheryl,
Carol?
thank you for using that hand up. It pops you right to the front.
There we go. Yeah, I was wondering, not as much about making the recording, but sending it, because I've had trouble in the past that the file's been too large, and I have difficulty sending files,
There's a
audio
couple-
files in particular.
Okay. It's only 350 words, so it shouldn't be a very big audio file. But there are ways of doing it through another tool called Dropbox or something like that, that we could send them that way. I think Megan knows more about audio stuff than I do by a long shot. She probably knew she had a record thing on her phone when she got it. Megan, do you want to take over on that one?
I'm not smarter than my phone, I will promise that. But do you have an iPhone, Cheryl?
I do.
So when you do a voice note, you have the option right there. You should be able to email it to yourself and therefore to TTIA pretty easily without the file being too big. Let me open my phone and just so I'm actually saying the right thing here.
I'm looking at mine while you.
Okay, great. So when you have
So what did
if you
say?
have, do you see that little, like a circle with the 3 dots in it? Like if you made a recording, just a sample recording. Do you see like on the right-hand side, there's a circle with 3 dots in it?
Not yet. Are you talking about an app, or are you just talking about?
Are you in your voice notes or voice memos?
Oh, okay. Hold on then. No, I was not.
Okay.
I
Go
see
into your
notes.
voice memos.
Where are voice memos? I don't even know that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking
It's a
forward to.
little, it's an app that's automatically in any iPhone.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, and it says voice memos, and if you click on it, it has like a little red thing with a little white wavy line. You see that?
Hold it up.
Sure.
You're holding it up?
Let me go back to where it is. Oops, sorry.
I'm in settings. Should I be in settings?
So it looks like
No.
you see this.
Okay, there.
It's a tiny. It says voice memos. It's in my folder. It's under extras. But if you did a search of your apps, you should be able to find.
Which one is it?
It's
Voice
that.
Oh,
memo.
I see. Okay, now I
It's
know.
got
what
like
I'm
a
looking
little
for.
red and a little
Okay.
white. You see that? Sorry, it's
I
kind
see
of
it on your phone now.
Voice
I'm still looking
memos.
on mine. I've got quite a few apps, but I don't see it yet.
yeah.
And
it's
if you have an Android, it's probably called Recorder.
But even if you just want to talk into an email, you can do the same thing, because at the bottom of the email, you see a little microphone and you can do it that way.
You could even say to your phone, open voice memos, like, hey Siri, open voice memo. Of course, now my Siri is working. Sorry.
I've never used Siri in my life.
Yeah, I've turned mine off.
Oh man,
Okay.
it really does work because it's totally happening.
Okay, so I'm going to say I found it, but I haven't. Voice memos. It's weird.
Sometimes it's in a little place where a bunch of things that you don't use very often are hidden. I can't remember what it was called on mine, but it was not easy to find either, Cheryl.
Utility.
Oh, Cheryl, what you can do is scroll over, to the far left. You scroll to the right. You scroll your finger to the right until you see a search on the very first screen, and just type in voice memo, and it'll take you there. Because sometimes we delete these things from our phones because we think we don't want them. So just do a search and you'll find it.
Yeah, I found it. I just kept moving my finger from right to left. And
Right.
then search is at the top there.
Exactly.
Okay,
And type in voice memo and it'll take you right to it.
Yeah, it takes you right just as soon as you say voice.
okay, so now I have to say allow while using app, I guess is what I want. Okay,
You
got
see
it.
that little red button at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That would allow you to make a recording. So if you press
Right.
it, you do like a test.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Is there
Yeah.
a time limit? Like it'll record if you babble on for half an hour?
No, it'll keep going until you press stop. And you can even pause it and resume if you like wanted to gather yourself and kind of continue on. And then once you're done and you press stop, it'll kind of automatically save in the queue. Like
Right.
I probably have, I don't know, several hundred of them because I use it a lot. And then the next thing you can do very easily is, do you see that little circle with the blue dots in it at the top of a
Yeah.
recording?
Yeah,
So then hit that blue dot, and the opportunity to share will come up. And you can email that to yourself, or you could airdrop it to your computer, or you could text it to yourself, or you could email it to someone else. And it shouldn't be, it's compressed enough that it shouldn't take up too much memory, so you won't need to use like Google Drive or anything like that. You should be able just to, like what I do when I want to save one of these, if I'm afraid of losing it, like I just wrote the most perfect song, I don't want to lose it. I email it to myself to make sure that I don't lose it, because it's easy to kind of delete this if you get a little jumpy in your phone.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you.
Su-
I think we got it.
Susan has a question. It's probably about this, right? So, oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I have an Android. I'm installing voice recorder, correct? Not voice memo?
Yeah, yes.
And now I think I just got the answer. Megan just said you save it, and then email it to yourself. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think that's just a really good way to kind of back it up, and then you can find it pretty easily, and then also forward it on, or add it to the template that we have for the audiobook.
Yeah, I have an Android and it's the same thing. The three dots open up and you have the ability to share. And then you can email it to yourself.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm still in the installing phase, but thank you. I think I've hopefully got it.
The other thing that you should know is that you can email us with any questions that you have after today too. So if you have questions still, you can email us.
Yeah, Sue will send out the recording and information. You already have the template, which is great. And then our emails will be on that email so that if you have ongoing questions.
And I'm also going to send out a little helpful hint, just like a little list of things to remember that we went over today with both the audio and also the visual. So if you forget anything that we covered, hopefully I'll have it all on this list that you'll get after the webinar is over.
Okay.
Thank you. So Megan, do you want to talk a little bit more though about the video project?
Sharon Hunter had a hand up.
Sharon had a question. Sorry.
Well, I I have a Samsung phone, and I either already had this on here or at some point actually downloaded it. It says audio recorder. So, Cordy, is that what you have on yours? Audio? Is it audio recorder?
Mine's called a Recorder Plus, but I have a Motorola, so all the Androids are a little different.
Okay.
But whatever it is, I used to have a Samsung, and that was the video recorder, and I would record things, and then you still have the three dots that give you the opportunity to share it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't see my video recorder, but I haven't looked, so I will look. Thank you.
Just think how cool we'll all sound to the young people in our lives, eh? Oh yeah, we could do a recording.
Any other questions before we just talk a little bit more about the video recording? Okay, Megan.
Oh, I think Martha
Martha
has
has
a
her
question.
hand up.
Oh, sorry.
I just did that fast. So when you say use the template, do you mean like type right on that, or I'm not sure what you mean by use the template?
I just was going to say, Martha, if that doesn't work, just type out your story and send it to us and we'll put it in the template. And if you have a photo to include, that would be fantastic. Okay.
So what you're saying, the template is for us to use as an example, or do we actually use it and send it to you on that?
It's a guideline.
A guideline, okay.
Yeah.
But if you use it and you can type right in that box, it'll just expand as you type.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Thank you.
So, you know, what I'm going to talk about is very much piggybacked onto what Peggy was sharing. And, you know, first of all, I just want to say, being part of this Therapeutic Touch community, you all are always teaching me so many things, and I'm always learning. And a lot of the things that I've been learning, gosh, you know, since I started in the early 2000s, it really comes through as I hear your stories and your beautiful voices telling those stories. And I feel like that's how we learn more about therapeutic touch and how we teach other people about it, through just expressing ourselves and the stories that we have. Because when I first started TT, I really felt like it was sort of a vague thing. It was something I felt so connected to, but it was hard to put into words. And as I witnessed other people kind of putting their words to the experiences, it made more sense to me. And as I received more treatments, I was able to put it into more words too. So I think it's just so important for us to get some of this down. And when I listen to recordings of Dora and Dee, it really influences me and like helps my practice along, always teaches me something that I haven't heard before in that exact way. And so I just feel like this project is such an important part of documenting who we are as Therapeutic Touch, and I'm just really, really honored to be part of that with you guys. When we started this idea back in, I guess, 2020 at the Dialogues, we were just trying to figure out a way to tell more people about Therapeutic Touch. And how do we show what it is? How do we get our reach out further so more people know about it? And the answer kind of came as we need to increase our social media presence, which is weird to say that. It's not always the intuitive thing, I think, in our organization. And in fact, as I've been curating these stories that you all have been sending me, I've noticed that a lot of Therapeutic Touch people really aren't on social media at all. And so sometimes I'm like, I would tag them, but they're nowhere to be found. And that's a beautiful thing in the age that we live in, with this social media that is just inundating every fiber of our being. So I know that sometimes this might feel like against the grain of who we are, but it really, really is something that I believe is going to help other people know more about Therapeutic Touch, understand it, and go down that rabbit hole that we've all gone down when we want to learn about something new. So as I've been doing these stories, and I'll share a couple of them with you all, I don't know if you've seen them or not, but I've been posting one every week since October on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram page, and on the TTIA Facebook page. And it has been growing our numbers. Our subscribers have increased on YouTube. The amount of people that are watching the videos on Facebook, I've been watching the metrics, and it's really increased our participation as a group. And I feel like it's helped us all learn more about each other and learn more about people who have been doing TT since, like, you know, the 70s. I recently posted one from Crystal Hawk, which just, like, you know, warmed my heart, just hearing her talk about like how she took a sabbatical and ended up in, you know, Mexico. and you know, and like she was studying the early therapeutic touch, and it's just so it's so cool to hear people tell their stories. I don't want anyone to worry that you don't have a good enough voice or that you don't have something to say, because you all do. You all have millions and millions of stories, and like Peggy said, just, you know, getting them down into a version that's short enough to keep, you know, a attention span going is probably the biggest challenge. When I send out the helpful hints for these videos too, I'm going to give you a few prompts, because sometimes you just need to be asked a question in order for a story to come to memory. But, you know, a lot of the prompts that we're looking at and that are opening up to the stories are basically thinking, when was that moment when you received healing that was impacting your view of therapeutic touch? When did you receive a treatment that made a difference? Or when did you give a treatment that made a huge difference in your life and reinforced your knowing of therapeutic touch or your confidence in your abilities to do that? We also are looking for humor, because sometimes funny things happen when we're giving treatments, and you know, we don't know where it's coming from, but like hilarious things happen, and sometimes things go a little awry, but sometimes that's the moment you needed to relax enough to give or receive a treatment. And we're also interested in things like research or just different cultural aspects of therapeutic touch. I'm going to show you a video from Karen Morency, where she was practicing TT with her mother tongue of Mandarin, and just how it transmits into different languages. So that's my little spiel. And I'm going to send out some helpful hints, and basically, similar to what we're doing with the audio memos, your phones have the amazing ability to record a video. If you're not comfortable doing that, and I'll go through some things about that, but Cordy and me and probably anyone else, maybe Sue, yeah, thank you, are willing to set up Zoom appointments with you to record you on Zoom. And so then you don't even have to worry about the technology. You can just talk to us and tell us your story, and it might just feel like you're having coffee with a friend and just telling what happened. It's very easy. And we have the ability to edit those down, and if there's some extra beginnings or endings or false starts, we can easily fix that, and there's nothing to worry about. So it's really, really easy. If you're gonna do a video, the most important thing, I think, if you're recording yourself on your phone, is to have good lighting. And it's very easy to have good lighting, because all you need to do is be facing a window like I am right now, and like natural light is coming in. I also have, you don't have to get this fancy, but I have a ring light. And when if they're like $30 or so on the internet, if you have a dark space and you want to have a ring light, or you're going to be making more than a couple videos, it's nice to have, because it shines a little extra light on your face, so you can look like you're broadcasting on a TV, and it kind of takes away some wrinkles. And not that any of you have wrinkles.
The nose just grew.
And then the other thing I have is I have this little kind of holder, a little holder that like holds my phone. So like my phone can be up high, so it gives me like that, like the light is there, the phone is there, and so it looks like I'm looking into the camera, and it seems more professional. The other thing you want to, oh, Abby, did you have a question?
It's not a question, but I was going to suggest if you don't have a ring light and not enough light, just take a clip-on light or any light and put it behind you. Like I'm looking at my screen. So if I'm going to do it into my computer screen, I would have the light clipped onto a chair behind my screen, coming facing at me. And I've had to do that for videos, video things I've done. And that's another way to get good lighting.
Exactly. And again, you don't have to have a tripod or anything. You could put a stack of books up and put your phone up on a stack of books, just so you're looking into it instead of down into it. Because when you're like this or you're like this, then people can't really tell what you're saying or what you're doing. And we've seen lots of people doing that before, where it's a little distracting. You want to tell your story. You don't want to have people wondering if you're okay. And the other thing I would say, and my dog is a wonderful example of this, is you want to test your audio before you make this wonderful video to make sure you don't have a bunch of wind noise and that you don't have too many dogs barking in the background, or some type of loud sound. Like if someone's doing construction, you might want to wait till later to record your video, because sometimes that can be a little bit distracting too when you're trying to tell your story. I think either or, in terms of writing out your story and reading it, and this applies to the audiobook too. If you're a good extemporaneous speaker and you want to tell your story just as is, that is so fine. And we don't mind if there's a little or in there. I think that's fine. Sometimes some of the most beautiful points come out when you're not planning them. But also, if you're someone that likes to know what you're going to say, totally okay to type it out and deliver it like your own speech. And the other thing is, you can easily have a little piece of paper with your words on it right below where your screen is, and you can just sort of read it off, and no one has to know that you're reading. And you can ad-lib if you want. If you're an ad-libber, it's all okay. Does everybody know how to find their camera on their phone? I'm going to just open mine.
No.
If you have an iPhone, it's in the same area as where you would take a picture. So I'm pretty sure almost everyone here has probably taken a picture on their phone. And all you have to do is open it like you're going to take a picture. And then there's a little thing at the bottom, and you can slide it over and it becomes a video. So if you find the video feature on your phone, your video is open, then the next thing you need to do is you're going to want to turn it around so you're videoing yourself. So there's a little circle at the bottom with the arrow thing, and you just, on the right hand side, you press that, and then you should be looking at yourself. And then what you're going to want to do, the best thing, you don't have to do this, but the best thing to do is to turn it sideways. So you're getting like a landscape view, and that's going to give a better picture. It's going to fill up the whole screen. And you're going to want, this is kind of when you're going to want to check yourself. You might do a sample video to check your audio, make sure that you look okay, that your lighting's pretty good, that you're centered in the camera, and you're going to want to just sort of test and make sure everything looks how it is, because sometimes it'll be like crooked, or you'll have like some junk in the background that you don't necessarily want in your video. I would be careful with backlighting too. I know that I'm a little backlit here. I have a lot of windows in this room though, so I'm like facing a window and I have a window behind me. But if I like move here, that takes away some of the backlighting, but then you can see into my dining room, which is a total mess right now. So I'm going to go back to this area. It seems better.
The other thing that maybe saves time is to make sure that the little camera thing is at the top instead of at the bottom.
Yes, exactly. And then you're pretty much ready to go. You hit your red button that records. Now, you want to make sure it's recording. I have made videos or not made videos before when I thought I was recording and I thought I hit the button, but like it didn't hit. And then I like, I'm talking for 2 minutes and it's totally not recording. We've all done it before. So you're going to make sure like the recording is going to turn red. You're going to see a little red thing at the top there, and it's going to show seconds are going by. And so you want to make sure that that's really happening before you start doing your masterpiece. When you're ready to be done with it, you hit the red button again to stop it. And this would be the time that you'd want to, if you think you did good, to review it. Take a look at it, listen to it, make sure it's what you want to say, make sure your voice is clear. And then you're going to want to go ahead and back it up by emailing it to yourself or just sort of, just saving it so you don't lose it by deleting it by accident. And the same thing is, well, it's a little bit different in the video portion is to send it to yourself. There's a little square with an arrow in it, and you can send it to yourself or text it to yourself or email it to yourself or email it to me or whoever you want to send it to, just so there's another version of it. You can also airdrop it to your main computer. I do that a lot with these videos. I'll airdrop things just so then I know I have them in 2 places. So if I lose track of where it is in the computer, I can find it back in my phone and vice versa. We do have Dropbox. Dropbox is a little bit complex, so I'm not sure I want to talk about that very much. I just want to get the basics down for this. Did you have something, Cordy?
Well, I have no idea what airdrop means. I don't know if everybody else knows that, but what is that, just when your phone and your computer are connected?
Yeah, it's probably more of a Mac thing.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't have a Mac.
So I can airdrop from my iPhone to my Mac by literally pushing
sure.
a button that says airdrop, and it'll just shoot it over to my computer.
Yeah. Google Drive, though, is a handy thing if you're
Yes.
emailing a larger file. Google Drive usually helps.
Yeah, I use Google Drive because I think Cheryl mentioned sometimes files are too large, and with these videos, that can happen. If you're short on memory, also in your device, sometimes the Google Drive is a good tool to use. And if you have Gmail or if you use Google, then you'll have a Google Drive account automatically. Does anyone need to help on how to find that in their Google picture, or is that something everyone knows about?
It just pops up if it's too big. If you have Gmail, it just, if you try to send it, it just says it's too large. We're doing it with Google Drive.
And
Right.
what happens then? That's what I don't know. Where does it disappear to?
The secret drive. Well, so then you go into your Gmail and you go in, and there's if you click on your, I think if you click on your account and you go to manage your account, or maybe not. Let's see. There's a way to see everything in your where is it? I see it all the time when I'm looking for it. Now I can't find it. That's funny. Oh, there it is. Okay, because I have like this storm on my Google today. I don't know why. Is it supposed to be bad weather? So there's that little box. It has a bunch of dots on it next to your picture of yourself, and it says Google Apps. And you can find your drive there. And if you click on Drive, anything that you save to your Google Drive should come up.
If I'm
Could you just repeat that again?
email, I'm going to find that.
So just so you know, Megan and everybody else, that works if you have Gmail. 1/3 of the people here today have Gmail. 2/3 of us don't. So
Okay.
there are other ways to get to the Google Drive. But Megan, you told me how to do it. I have no idea what you told me now.
I just Googled my Google Drive and I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. There's usually like whenever I have a question about this stuff, and I often do because I am not a audio file expert in any way, but pretty much everything I ever need to know, I'll just Google how to do it, and it will come up. And if it doesn't come up on Google, then you can go to YouTube and say you can ask YouTube a question. How do I find my Google Drive? And there will like be 10 videos that will pop up to tell you how to do it.
I can't imagine, I can't believe how many things I have here. I didn't even know.
It's crazy. When you find your Google Drive, you're going to be taking a trip down memory lane.
I never put anything in here, but people must have been sending me things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that automatically will save that you're going to find. You'll be like, wow, or, you know, documents that were saved that you didn't even know were saved. There's a lot of stuff in there. So, but if you send a file that's too big, it will probably automatically save to your Google Drive.
I've just found one called Don't Lose. I obviously lost it.
Paula says she doesn't have a picture of herself on your Gmail. Is there an icon in the right upper hand corner? Maybe it's not a picture of yourself, but is it is there like when you log in, do you see something there that's like in the right upper corner?
No, I'm in my I'm on my iPad, so I'm actually in Gmail right now. So
Okay.
like that. So there's no picture or anything. And you know, it's like my choices are create an email, you know, put it in a folder or delete it. That's all.
You have a Gmail account already?
Oh yeah.
So go to your actual email. Just open your email.
Yeah, that's what I've got it open. I've got it open right now.
Okay.
So you see like you see this right there? You see that? Well, I'm sharing my screen. I'm hovering over that where the arrow is. Do you see that?
Yeah, I can see it on yours, but it's not on mine.
So do you have something there? It doesn't anything at all?
No. It just either I can something to sort the order of my emails that they appear in, and the other one is maybe other folders.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have it on my iPad, but I do have my I did what Allison just did, and I just Googled it and I found it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I
Yeah.
found it that way, but it's not on my iPad that I can see.
Sometimes the interface on the iPad is different.
Yeah, this I never saw.
Yeah. It's hard to see on mine right here, but this is where my apps are, if anyone's still wondering about that. And if I click on that, here's my Google Drive.
Yeah, no.
That's
Anyway, thank you. I guess I'll just access it through my my laptop.
Okay. Sue Ann, you had a question?
Hi, yes. So we have 350 words for the ebook. What is our time? Do we have a cutoff on our video? What are you looking for?
Well, that's a great question. I've been trying to say if you can keep it between 2 and 4 minutes, that's ideal. If it goes a little longer, that's okay. But in terms of people's attention spans, I find that most people will watch a video that's 2 to 3 minutes more than they'll watch one that's like 6 or 7 minutes long.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions about the technology portion of this presentation about making the video, or any other questions about content? Susan?
Oh, you're on mute, dear.
Okay, sorry, I'm not very technological. So I was trying to find my Google Drive and then trying to install it. So I have this disconnect. I figured out how to use the video, turn it on, turn it off. I could email it, right? I could text it or email it, send it that way, if it's a
Email.
short file. So what's the Google Drive for? Sorry to.
Oh, no, that's okay. Sometimes with the videos, they take up a little bit more memory. And so if you try to email it, it might say, your file is too big, so we're going to send it via Google Drive. And which is totally fine, and because we can accept that. And if you wanted to find it again, or if you decided not to send it at that moment, and then you close your computer, or you got called away or something, and you didn't send it, sometimes it's hard to find again if you don't know where your Google Drive is.
Okay, but do I have to have a Gmail, an active Gmail account for that?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Sue,
good.
you know a little bit about that, because I usually just operate on Gmail.
No, you don't. Mine will not say, I'm sending it to your Google Drive. My email will just say, this file is too large. So then I go to my Google Drive and I click on where it says upload a file, and I upload the file there.
Okay,
You have to do
thanks.
it manually. There are a couple more steps if you don't have Gmail. It's not automatic.
Okay, thanks.
So basically, once you send us a video, then they are getting sent over to me, and I'm just doing a little bit of very light editing in iMovie and adding a little front card and a little back card, and have been posting them. And I hope that this little tutorial that we've gone through will inspire and encourage you to do them, because I've been doing them every week, and I think there's 13 or 14 of them now that are up, and I'm out of them. Like I don't have any more. So I'm asking you, please send me some videos, because otherwise I don't have anything to post next week. I'm gonna have to make my own.
Oh, I see. Allison.
Okay, well, I'm just doing the next stage for people. I have Gmail and I'm mailing a video to myself. And what comes up is attaching file. Your file is larger than 25 megabytes. It will be sent as a Google Drive link. So I'm assuming it's going up to my Google Drive, and then I will receive a link that I can send to whoever I want to.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah. That's how I get links. Every once in a while I get a link and I follow them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's my transpersonal video, Sue. I'm going to send it by Google.
Got it.
Deb had a question.
Yeah, can you Zoom record yourself and send that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know how you can
Absolutely.
send it to the cloud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, however you save it, I usually save it on my computer when I'm doing something like that, and then send it on to TTIA.
Well, there's this option when you record something that you can send the link to the participants.
Sue, do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, I do, because sometimes if you record to the cloud and then send that link to TTIA, I sometimes have trouble downloading that link in order to get it to Megan so that she can edit and add her magic and her music to it. So if you record it on your computer and then email me the file or upload it to a Google Drive, that's a safer way to do it. Unless Megan, I don't know if you have any experience from the links from iCloud. Are you able to download them easily?
I haven't had any trouble. I will say every time I've recorded something on Zoom, it will automatically save to my computer, and it puts it in its own folder. So sometimes it's a little tricky to find, but I've always been able to access it. And then Emailing that after it's been saved has worked out. Every time I've tried it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay.
And a 3-minute video on Zoom isn't too huge. I mean, our hour-long meetings, they're huge, but a 3-minute video isn't so huge.
Yeah, it's pretty compressed, and it won't take up too much memory even on your hard drive. So, yeah, I think Zoom is a really good way to do it, and then you're not messing around with your phone and your computer or your whatever that much. It kind of records it and it's sort of one and done.
Yeah.
And you can just set up a meeting with yourself. For those who haven't done it, you just set up a meeting and open it, and then there you are, and hit record. And yeah, if you have that option. Yeah.
Well, and I
You
wanted
can
to
even
show. I don't
cover
even
up the
know if
screen
this
if
is
you don't want
important.
to watch yourself as you're recording yourself. Sometimes I have to do that because I get distracted and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Look at that. You know, so like sometimes it's okay. You know, as long as you know your camera's on, you can actually just click on something else and talk as if you're on a meeting and not really staring at yourself. Because sometimes I find that difficult.
Yeah, like wondering if your tongue's out or something.
Yeah.
So I was also going to say, I don't know whether this means anything to anybody, but I learned this. My university assigned me a Gmail account, and I never knew that I had that. And so so that has been a little complicated because everything tries to go through that, and of course there's a huge firewall and it won't let anything in. So now I have 4 Gmail accounts so I can access my students' work. So I just want, anybody who's university that might do some favor like that for you and not tell you, you might want to know about that. Yeah.
That's awful.
It was weird. It was really weird because I had no idea that I had that. And yeah, it was crazy.
So I don't know that anyone asked it in the chat, but I'm sure you're wondering, when is a good time to do the video? When is a good time to do the audio? When is a good time to write your story? Now. Now is the answer. Or there is never a really good time. It's like, when is a good time to have kids? When is a good time to do some of the major things in our lives? There's never the perfect time. So now is as good as it gets. So go ahead and record yourselves or write your stories. Sooner, so that you don't run into some other thing that you're doing and then not have time to do it. But now's a good time.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And however you're most comfortable, if you're more comfortable with just the audio, or if you're more comfortable with the video, or if you want to do both, that's totally okay. We are just happy to have your stories, and we are so excited to document them, and it just means so much to have all your voices and hearing the wisdom that you've gathered over the years. It's so special.
Speaking of wisdom, Martha has a question.
I'm going to tell you what I had with beginner's luck. Last October, my best friend and I took Kathy Canfield for lunch outdoors for 3 hours. And then we took her home, and I picked up my phone and I said, Kathy, tell me why Therapeutic Touch is so wonderful to you. In 2 minutes and 59 seconds, without a break, that woman delivered. And my friend Christine adjusted the Yadro statue of the nurse behind her. It was like perfect. And we fixed her hands and her other, but it was very not fussy. But it was after a 3-hour lunch where we laughed and we just did it. And Sue, you helped me with the rest of it, the technical part. I don't know what that was, but it was beginner's luck. And I'm going to invoke that when Sue Ann and I do ours. That's what I'm saying. It was easy. It was easy.
And that's happening this week.
Huh?
That's happening this week. The Sue Ann and Martha video.
That's right. I mean, it just worked. So I'm going to invoke that, and I tell everybody it's not as technical as we're making it seem. People will help. People will help us.
Angels. Thanks, Martha.
Angels.
Yeah. Donna?
This is for the big talkers. It's definitely probably not for me. Can people do more than one story? You know, in the little
Yes.
bites.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that would be
absolutely.
great. I mean, some people have lots of stories. And they love to talk, and they're good at it.
And you could even do it in a couple parts, you know. I mean, you could have part one, part two, and
Yes,
part
you
three.
could. You could
We are, you
sequentially,
know,
yeah, Evie. Yeah.
we're happy to have as many as possible.
I think that's a good idea.
Great. Thanks, Donna. Evie?
I was just going to say I did crystals, and it was really easy. I mean, I set up I asked her to do it. I called her up, and we set up a time because she wanted to get all packaged up, earrings and lipstick and all that stuff, and look really good. And if you saw it, I mean, it's amazing. And I just did it on my Zoom. And anybody can get it. I have a Zoom account, but you can do it for free. You can everybody gets 45 minutes for free anyway. And I find it easier to record to the computer, just because they only if even if you pay for an account, you only have so much data in Zoom. So it's just easier to save it into your computer and set up a Zoom account that says Zoom, so that it'll automatically go right into that folder, and then you can
It gives
find
you
it.
the date.
You just, and you go and you find it and you find it immediately. It's got a date and you rename it to what and call it whatever you want. But it was so easy with Crystal. I mean, it was just a blast doing it. I didn't interview her. I just said, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So anybody who needs help, all of us on the committee are here to help you. You just email us and we'll set up a time.
Yep, we're all happy to do it, and it really won't take that much time at all.
I just want to say that one of the things that I found strange with one of the videos that I have with Dora is that she was all made up, and I never saw Dora all made up except in that video. And I just think, just be careful about getting yourself all dolled up for the camera, because we want to see you the way that we remember you, not in a sort of Hollywood look. I think that's me personally speaking, but I just feel like it's really nice to be as much a part of the circle that we usually meditate in or have Zooms in, rather than like my messy office behind me. That's the way it is. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just part of our lives.
Would you all like to see an example video? I have a couple pulled up that I'd love to share with you that won't take too much time, as long as I'm able to share my screen, which I think I am. Okay, and we're gonna go share soon. Oops. Can you see that?
Uh-huh.
All right. This is Sandy's. Here, let's go.
When apples still grow in November. Hi, my name's Sandy Matheny, and I live in Whitefish, Montana. I came to Therapeutic Touch sort of sideways. Like many of us, I'd been involved over the years in a wide variety of spiritual growth stretching experiences. And in fact, that began early on with Mom, who was an artist, and Dad, who was a farmer, both of whom had the ability to see the unseen and subconsciously passed that on. The Natural Resource Agency I worked with also encouraged individual growth. And my work with them primarily was in mediation and negotiation, both as a teacher and as a mediator. And while the healing involved there more interrelationships of teams than individuals, the skills needed for perception are very similar. So it was to help with Oceana that I first met Dee. And Dee became a good friend more than anything else. So TT was a natural addition to the gifts I've been given all along this trail. Excuse me a minute, the phone's ringing. Hello? Well, we were just talking about you, Dee. What's that? You wanted to remind us that you and Dora, wait, let me write this down. You and Dora recognized early on that insights into the TT process will continue to grow naturally. All right, yeah. With future generations of perceptive persons who are compassionately concerned with helping and healing. Okay, let me read that back to you. Okay. You and Dora recognized early on that insights into the TT process will continue to grow naturally with future generations of perceptive, persons who are compassionately concerned with helping and healing those in need. That sounds just like you. Oh, wait, that was you who said that. Anything else? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you down the trail, Dee.
Still only our rivers run free.
So that's one example of a video that is, I think she really kind of outdid herself. I'm going to share one more here, maybe. Hold on. That's Sandy. Where's my other one? I had these pulled up so I would actually not completely lose where I was. Sandy and oops,
I came
there
to
she is again.
therapeutic.
Sorry. Too many windows open on my computer. I tried to close them before I started this, but you know how that goes. Let's just go back there. But this is our YouTube channel. There's lots and lots of videos on there. The other one I wanted to share was Karen.
Touch sort of
Sandy just keeps
sideways.
coming back. Hold on. Almost there, guys. Videos. There, that's the one.
By advertising on YouTube, I catch the eye of my ideal customers at the right time.
Recently worked with someone who's Hi everyone, my name is Karen Morency. I practice Therapeutic Touch in the beautiful state of Maine. And I recently worked with someone who spoke my mother language, which is Mandarin Chinese. And it was a very unique experience. So I wanted to share that with you. For those of you who may have come from another country, speak another language. And of course, for all of us, our first language is the language of energy or body language, right? Before we can verbally speak. So, but for some reason, being born in Taiwan and speaking Mandarin Chinese and receiving a therapeutic touch session in Chinese was just an amazing experience. So I hope that I share this in the hopes that you will consider also receiving a session or doing sessions in your mother tongue with people, from who speak that language, maybe not from the same area, but who speak that language, and just notice what it creates for both of you. Thank you.
So, pretty simple, pretty basic, not very long, nice and easy. Um, that's all we're looking for, really. Just nice little stories. I know you all have them. Susan.
Okay, another old lady question. Do I have to have a YouTube account in order to do this?
No. We really would rather
Okay.
you sent us the video and then we'll upload them onto our YouTube channel. Because if you upload them to your own YouTube account, then it's really hard for us to extricate the video and then to put it on the TTIA one. So yeah, please, you can do it if you want to upload it to your own YouTube. But if you send us a YouTube link, it's kind of tricky to get it out of that into our own format.
Okay, well, of course I don't have a YouTube account or Facebook. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
So the other thing that's important for those of you that are on social media is to share the videos, especially on Facebook, or I guess we do have Twitter and Instagram. Just sharing it so that other people see them, right? We all know how wonderful Therapeutic Touch is, but it's important to share if you're on those things. Anyway, so any other questions before we go to TT sessions? There'll be an email afterwards from Sue and TTIA giving you handouts and stuff that will help. The thing from Megan, and also our emails. You can email me, and if you have questions just one-on-one, or if you'd like to make an appointment for a Zoom with several of us, I mean, we're all willing to help for your video recordings and or help with audio if you need that. Okay.
And can I just say one final thing? With
Absolutely.
the birthday party, it's kind of usually at our age, it's a no presents birthday party. But in this particular case, we want your presents. And the way that we get your presents is through your stories. So bring your presents to the birthday party. That's really what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think Peggy's 50 stories for 50 years is just a wonderful, and it will be a great thing to share into the future for sure.
So if there are no questions, I'm going to start assigning people to breakout rooms. If you are not planning on staying, please let me know now. And you can all take a 2-minute break unless you want to ask questions while I'm doing this.
I would say if you're not planning to stay for the sessions, you should probably go ahead and just say goodbye and leave the meeting, because it makes it much easier for Sue doing breakout rooms. Okay.
Yeah, I've already changed one person 3 times, so.
Thank you.
And if you are staying, just take a quick bathroom break.
Well, that certainly changed the landscape.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was a good thing to ask for.
Kathy.
It's on the gallery.
Hi. Hey, Deb. Who's there?
This is
I have no.
Deb. I only see you on my screen. Are we
Yeah.
together?
No,
Have
she
we
hasn't.
started?
No, she hasn't done breakout rooms yet.
Oh, okay.
If you're on speaker view, switch it back to gallery.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Do those lights that Megan was talking about actually take away some of our wrinkles?
Yeah.
Everything ought to be worth it.
Another trick with those lights is to put a clear shower curtain over top of one that's really bright, and then it softens it a bit. So if you do get one of those clip-on lights, that's a thing that you can do.
Or hold it over your head like a halo.
Yeah.
So we have an uneven number of people. And we have an uneven number of people. So there is one room that has 3 people in it. You do have 45 minutes. So that should give you plenty of time to share among the 3. So if everybody is settled, I'm going to open the
Are we
room.
coming back through after the breakout rooms or
It
just?
will bring you back after 45 minutes. So yes, because
we have a fabulous closing schedule.
Closing.
Don't miss the schedule closing.
Always do.
Okay. I'm going to open the rooms now. Have fun.
Welcome back.
This meeting is being recorded.
Everybody looks fabulous. Did you all have good treatments?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we also decided we were all going to get those things, those lights.
The ring
Oh,
light.
the ring light?
Halo lights.
Lights.
Halo lights.
Less wrinkles.
That's great.
So I want to thank our 3 presenters today. It's been fabulous and informative. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure you'll get lots of questions. And Megan has a treat for us for closing. So if you all could mute yourselves and just enjoy this opportunity.
So I was asked to work on a song for our 50th birthday of TT, and I thought I'd give you guys a sneak peek of the song. And it's the idea was inspired by Dora's laughing meditation. So this is called Everybody Laugh. We've been called to share one voice in harmony, to chant a sacred sound for all to live to be. With compassion never know how it turns out in the end, but for sure, my friend, we will meet again. So everybody laugh, everybody sing. Love heals. We are peace. Love heals. We are peace.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Where's
great.
the everybody cries?
I got
I know.
chills.
I almost started
Chills,
crying
Megan.
too, so I just
Yeah.
so you know.
It was lovely. Thank you.
Very
Beautiful.
so
Absolutely
Wow.
beautiful, Megan. Thank you.
Well, those are words from all of you, and some specifically from Deb Shields, and other things I've eavesdropped on and written down as you're all talking. So you know, it's a song that was written by all of us.
Just beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Could you send us the words?
Yes.
And you'll
Yes.
get them at the Congress to sing together when
Oh my
we celebrate them.
God. Oh my God.
That will be nice.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, Megan.
What
and
a
thank
gift.
you,
What a
thank
gift,
you
Megan.
all for being here today.
Thank you all. Great day.
Wonderful.
My honor to be here with you all.
Yes.